你在这国际上，这个在亚洲就算是资深的政治家，也是中国人民的老朋友、好朋友。
I'm very happy to be back in China and to be calling on President Xi again. Our bilateral cooperation is especially valuable given the more uncertain and troubled international environment.
苏州工业园办了30年，谈之不坚，池塘洼地变成创新之城，也是新加坡深入参与中国改革开放的一个见证。
Seeing how our initial concepts and dreams had become a living, vibrant reality filled me with pride and joy. It showed how we had worked closely with China on a major project and seen it through to fruition, and it earned us international credibility. In an era of uncertainty and anxiety, it will be a beacon of cooperation and hope.
大概
4小时多，非常舒服，非常方便。
欢迎你首次作为国务资政来到讨论。你在这个国际上，这个在亚洲就算是资深的政治家。今年5月，新加坡顺利完成正式交接，中方对此表示祝贺。你是中国人民的老朋友、好朋友，长期关心和支持中新合作。明年是中新建交35周年，要进一步加强发展战略对接，深化各领域合作，为两国人民带来更多的福祉，为地区和平和繁荣做出新的更大的贡献。
Our bilateral cooperation is especially valuable given the more uncertain and troubled international environment. Tensions between major powers have intensified. Countries are emphasizing national security, supply chain resilience, instead of economic integration and international multilateral cooperation. And it makes it all the more important in such an environment for like-minded countries, big ones as well as small ones, to work together to develop our cooperation to the best of our ability for the benefits of our peoples. 大家下午好。Earlier, I had a chance to tour the SIP and see what it had matured into. Seeing how our initial concepts and dreams had become a living, vibrant reality filled me with pride and joy. We stopped by a viewpoint to admire the industrial park, and from there we could see the SIP stretching around Jinjihu, extending in all directions. In particular, we could see the entire central axis, leading through the township all the way to the Suzhou Center and the Gate of the Orient, Dongfang Zhimen, fronting onto the lake. I remembered the first Joint Steering Committee meeting in Singapore in 1994, when both sides discussed the master plan for the township, sitting around a scale model of the SIP. The planners highlighted to us this central axis, which then Vice Premier Li Lanqing described as the torch, or 火炬. We talked about how one day this axis would become the bustling core of a modern township. Today, This central thoroughfare is fully built, surrounded by the modern buildings of the SIP. Graceful, well-laid-out precincts, full of life and activity. The torch is shining brightly. From master plan to reality. Throughout the years, the SIP has kept itself relevant and competitive by moving up the value chain into higher tech, high value-adding industries, such as biotech, nanotech, and artificial intelligence. 从无到有，从有到优。But for all the progress that we have made, I'm glad to see that the SIP still produces some traditional products. For example, the best hairy crabs in China still come from the SIP, Yangchenghu, and should therefore be counted among SIP's high-quality, high-value-added exports. The SIP has greatly benefited both our countries. For China, it has become a model for the high-quality investment ecosystem that attracts foreign investments, and it has become a household name in China, 远近闻名. Officials from across China have come to see and study Suzhou's success. On Singapore's part, the SIP gave us a stake in a major project in the heart of the Yangtze River Delta, a key node of China's transformation and development. It enabled us to participate deeply in China's journey of reform and opening up. It showed how we had worked closely with China on a major project and seen it through to fruition, and it earned us international credibility. It also helped build up our reputation all over China, opening many doors for us. After nearly half a century of rapid progress, China is facing very different challenges from when it first started its journey of reform and opening up. For domestic reasons alone, China's growth will likely be slower than before. And this is to be expected as the economy is now more mature and incomes many times higher. The population has peaked, constraining the size and composition of its workforce. And there are also some structural issues in the economy that the Chinese government is actively tackling. At the same time, China's external environment has become more complicated. Geopolitical tensions have made conditions everywhere much less conducive to growth than before. Cross-border trade and investments are particularly affected, and this affects China too. Because its economy relies on a stable global multilateral framework, as well as trade and investments with partners all around the world. Facing these external pressures and uncertainties, China has placed more emphasis on political, social, and national security considerations. Economic development is still of high importance, but it is no longer the preeminent national priority. Policy trade-offs are unavoidable and will imply less exuberant growth for China. But it would be short-sighted and unwise to write off China. China's development is an enterprise that will take a century, 百年大计. China has shown that it can take a strategic perspective to maintain consistent policies and direction over the long term, riding through transient ups and downs in its development journey. Its economy retains considerable capacity to grow. There is still untapped potential in its workforce. As people stay healthy longer and remain active and work longer, this will boost the workforce. As the population continues to urbanize and shift from the rural agricultural sector to the urban manufacturing or service economy, productivity should go up. China's tech industry is also highly competitive and advanced. Chinese companies are already market leaders in some industries. For example, electric vehicles, batteries, and solar panels. Increasingly, Chinese companies are competing as equals rather than from a catch-up position. In fact, in some industries, Chinese companies have been so successful that it is causing concern to China's trading partners. Finally, we must never underestimate the Chinese people's determination for their nation to succeed and stand tall in the world. This is a driving ambition. Its impact cannot be captured in economic statistics, but it will make all the difference. Singapore continues to have confidence in China's future. We believe that a growing and prospering China can and should play a major constructive role internationally, contributing to the prosperity and well-being of other countries and a stable international order where all countries, big and small, coexist peacefully together. Therefore, we wish China well in its efforts to transform its economy, to integrate into the global economy, and to enhance win-win relations with regional partners and other major powers. Singapore remains committed to deepening our bilateral cooperation with China, and our cooperation in the SIP will continue to be a significant part of this. As the SIP continues to develop under the blueprint, it will continue to demonstrate how China can deliver high standards of economic and urban management and sustain a high-quality modern township over the long term. SIP's model will be a reference and an inspiration for other tech and industrial parks across the country. It will also demonstrate China's continuing openness to the world and its desire to welcome investors. In an era of uncertainty and anxiety, it will be a beacon of cooperation and hope.